Hi guys, it's Victoria, and today is my 10 baby products that didn't work for my family. Now, you might notice I'm in a little bit of a different room. So it gets a little complicated sometimes to film in my daughter's room because it has to be when she's awake, and then my husband has to be able to come and play with her in a different part of the house, but he's working. So it's just easier sometimes if we can't get all the things to line up correctly for me to switch rooms. So we're going to forego the fun background today for the purpose of just being able to actually do this video. One thing I want to make very clear is I don't intend to use any names of brands in this video because the things I want to talk about, things that didn't work, could happen and do happen across the spectrum of brands. It's not necessarily the one specific one that I had. So I'm just going to talk in general about these certain types of products and why they didn't work. And just because they didn't work for me does not mean they're not going to work for you. It's just that what we went through and the advice I can give based on that. Also, make sure to stick around towards the end because there is a giveaway and I do want to go over all those details with you guys. Now, the first product I want to talk about is a pack and play with a newborn bassinet insert on top. The kind we got had the pack and play mattress, but you were supposed to fold it up to put it in the newborn bassinet. And it just didn't work. We ended up having these weird little angles that she would be on, and she wasn't flat on her back like newborns are supposed to be, so we could never use it. It works perfectly fine in the normal pack and play for older children, but it didn't work as a newborn insert. So if that's something that you want to purchase so that you can take your child to your in-laws, to your parents, anywhere, and they can nap, go to the store, look at the ones there, and see how they're made and the quality, just so you don't buy it, unpack it, and can't use it. That being said, the pack and play itself is perfect, and we love it now that she's a little bit older. Second thing I want to talk about, it's not really like a product designed for babies, but it was something that we were told to do that didn't work out. So you know Instant Pots, the ones you cook in? We were told that you can sterilize bottles in them. So we were all excited. It was easy, threw them in and pressed the button. It started warping our bottles. So if you're planning to bottle feed whatsoever, I would stay out of the Instant Pot, dishwasher, sink, however you plan to do it. Do not put them in the Instant Pot. It'll warp your bottles. 3 ounces will no longer be 3 ounces. You won't be able to track what your child's eating correctly, and you're gonna have to buy new bottles, and they get expensive. So definitely no Instant Pot for washing bottles. Third product that I want to talk about is baby mittens. So this one actually surprised me because I know that when I was young, the kids I babysat for, my little brother, they all had little mittens over their hands. They couldn't scratch their face. Well, turns out it's actually not that great for development. Your child's supposed to explore with their hands and figure their hands out and everything. So we didn't end up buying or using baby mittens. We tried to keep her nails as trimmed as possible. Something else that I didn't really think about until I had a kid was tummy time toys. They sell all these things that you can put in front of your child to keep them engaged in tummy time for longer, and honestly, you can replicate all of them with just regular toys. You can put a book in front of your child and have them look at the pictures. You can put one of your cosmetic mirrors. Obviously, don't leave it out there for the child to play with after, but while they're just doing tummy time. You don't need to invest in a special toy for tummy time. It's just kind of a waste of money. You can use pretty much anything. Another item that did not work for us, but I know works for a lot of people, is pacifiers. So if pacifiers are something you want to use, that's great. Just keep in mind your child might not like pacifiers at all, or there might be specific kinds they like and don't like. So don't go out and buy every type of pacifier. Don't go out and buy boatload of the kind of pacifier you want them to use because chances of them using it are pretty low. Kids are very picky. So what happened with us is I had a bunch of pacifiers at home that had been gifted to me that were supposed to be good for teeth development and certain things like that. And when I was at the hospital, they gave my daughter a pacifier, and that was the only one she ever took. We had to get rid of all the ones that we had. So if there's a certain one that you want your child to use, if you've done a bunch of research and you want them to use a specific one, first of all, make sure it's the 0 to 3 month because they do come in different sizes. Second of all, just bring it to the hospital so that they don't give your child whatever they have, and then you're stuck with that type of pacifier. Another thing that didn't work for my daughter specifically, but I know works for a lot of kids, are swings. My daughter screamed the second we put her in a swing. And we tried different times at different ages. Once it was okayed by our pediatrician, and she just hated it every time. Now, we had been gifted our swing from a family member that had just had a kid, so we weren't out any money, but swings are expensive. So my best advice, if this pandemic ever ends, take your child to Bye Bye Baby or somewhere, put them in a swing, and see what happens. Don't put a bunch of money into buying a swing to then not be able to use it because it's just not something your child likes. And along with that is my next item, which is a specific kind of bassinet. We have a family bassinet that was gifted to my husband, and that one's very standard, very classic, very pretty, doesn't move, doesn't make sounds, and my daughter loved that one. We had another one given to us by a friend that played music and vibrated and was supposed to start moving when she cried, and she could not sleep in it. She hated it. If it moved, she would scream. If she was asleep and she coughed or something and it started moving, she would instantly be awake. So my advice there is more technology is not always better. It depends on the child. Don't buy the most high-tech, most advanced bassinet and then find out that your child hates it with a passion. See if you can try one out if a friend has one, something like that, but just don't invest a bunch of money in it. Another item that we didn't end up using, but I was dead set on having and thought that I would be using it religiously, was a heart and oxygen monitor. I have a lot of anxiety, so I was convinced that once we had this baby, I would always want to know all of her stats and everything when she's asleep. I would want alarms. I would want everything. And then we had her, and I already had enough postpartum anxiety. I would not have been able to sleep at all if I also knew that there was a monitor on her and that at any moment it could go off. And we put it on her once, and seeing those numbers, seeing her oxygen levels, and seeing her heart rate just scared me to death. So we ended up never using it again. So if that's something you want to use, absolutely go for it. I'm just letting you know you might think that it's something that you want, and it might end up being something completely different. So definitely think about it because those get very, very expensive. Something I never bought and always thought was kind of a waste and just wasn't for me, and I stand by that, are hooded towels. You know, the really cute ones where your child has like the head of a pig and then they're in a pink towel. That seemed like a waste to me because they grow out of them so quickly. They're really just meant for pictures. And when your child is cold or in the middle of being fussy, you don't take those pictures. So we just used a regular towel for our daughter, and it was fine. Now, again, if you want a hooded towel, you want those pictures, go for it. It's fun. Just don't feel like it's a necessity. Regular bath towels that adults use are perfectly fine. Probably the last thing and the most, I want to say controversial because I know a lot of parents love this item, thing that I want to talk about are gas drops. So my daughter had really bad gas, and we were told to give her gas drops, and they did nothing for her. All these people on all these reviews swore by them, and they did nothing. So we gave her gripe water, and that worked for her. And I know I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm not saying anyone was wrong. I'm just saying that there is more than one perfect product for every situation. So don't look at things and say, oh, all these people swear by them, or all these items have great reviews. It's 100% gonna work. It might not. Just be aware. All right, guys, those were my 10 worst baby products, or 10 baby products that didn't work for my family. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we're going to do a $25 gift card to Bye Bye Baby as this week's giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed, you like this video, and you leave a comment either reviewing some of the products, talking about products that didn't work for you, anything like that, to be entered in this week's giveaway, and I'll announce the winner next Friday, which is February 12th of 2021.